It's a cold and breezy Wednesday morning here at St Anne's Old Links. This place would normally be bustling with seniors heading out to play, but we're still in the throes of lockdown. I've popped down to do a little bit of paperwork, but whilst I was here, there's something I really want to show you. You better keep watching. So we managed to get a few jobs done just before lockdown, and this is the improvements we made to the studio here at St Anne's Old Links. We fully carpeted the walls. Thank you to Tom Parsons for your help with that big job. That was obviously new carpet down the ground, new mat, GC quad, and a brand new screen from Foresight Sports. This is a high definition impact screen. Obviously today I've got the lights on so you can't see it quite as clearly, but when we're using this as a sim, the lights are off and it is a really sharp image as well. So a lot of work went into this just in time, just prior to lockdown, and this is the first time really I've been in and even used this facility in a month and a half. As we're all well aware, we are staying away, keeping travel to a minimal, but today I've been in, as I mentioned before, doing a little bit of work, paperwork. I've met with my accountant just to make sure my end of year accounts are looking okay, and again preparing the business for the challenges that we've faced the last few weeks, but also over the next few months. Whilst I was here though, I thought I'd maybe give you a little swing tip. So I've got a swing plate I'm going to use for that, for anyone that's struggling with the fade and maybe wants to learn a little bit about drawing the golf ball. I've also got the Cobra King Speed Zone driver. I'm going to have a whack with this. I've not hit this yet this year. This is Cobra's forgiving driver, and we're probably all going to need a little bit of forgiveness. You've all been swinging in the gardens maybe and bursting to get back out to that golf course, and the swings might not be quite where they were this time last year. So a forgiving driver might be the key. So I'm going to see exactly how forgiving this driver is shortly. Following that, we'll do a swing tip. But before that, I've got a couple of bits I need to mention. First of all, we're still running our prize draw for the NHS, and there's a raffle going on. Simply DM me, contact me. It's £20 for 5 squares or £5 for 1 square in that raffle. We're putting half of that money towards the NHS and also half it going to some fantastic prizes. There's a limited edition Masters golf bag as one of the star prizes, so I really appreciate that. Also, as we're starting to get closer to the start, potentially the start of lifting of restrictions, keeping our fingers crossed there, golf may well be one of the first things we can play. However, as I've mentioned in a few of my communications lately, it's going to be a very different landscape, and to help us reduce contact points when we are back open here, if members do want anything from the Pro Shop delivered onto that first tee, we're going to be operating a click and collect service. Please top up your accounts beforehand, and I'm giving you 10% extra if you do that. Add money to your account, and then when you come down to play the golf course, there's every chance there'll be 2 balls at 10-minute intervals and you won't have access to the Pro Shop initially, is my feeling. Then at least we can make sure you're stocked up with golf balls, gloves, tees, drinks, that kind of thing to go and enjoy your round of golf with. And if there's anything else you want, potentially a driver delivering to the first tee, I can organise that as well. But like I've said, we're trying to reduce contact points both here and at Lytham Golf Academy. We're doing everything we can to make sure when we are allowed to reopen, we're following all the social distance measures recommended, keeping things nice and clean and making sure we look after every single member and golfer. So let's have a little whack with this Cobra Speed Zone driver. Now this new face is the CNC face. It's a milled face, and apparently it's got 6 extra Speed Zone points, and I've just been reading up a bit about it, and it tells you this is what we're gonna give you the feeling of being a racing driver and knowing what speed is all about. I'm sceptical about those kind of things. I think we've reached our max speed. The simple thing is get fitted, get your launch angle and spin rate right, get stronger. I'll come to that one in a little while as well, and you'll hit the ball further. This is the Extreme Speed Zone Extreme driver, 9 degree. I've got a TaylorMade TP5 Pix golf ball, and the swing feels a bit rusty, I'm not going to lie, so I'm going to give this a bit of a smash. I need all the forgiveness I can get. Let's see what we can get out of this. That felt a little bit toey, and as you would expect, toey strike. That ball is getting out of the sky with a bit of too much draw on it. Carried at 230 something, running out to 250. Let's see if we can get a bit straighter on this time. So the idea again is you can pretty much apparently hit this anywhere off the face and you'll get a bit of forgiveness out of it. One thing I'm looking at straight away, club speed 102 miles an hour, launch angle 14 degrees, Spin 2-1, that was that toey strike, but not very efficient. Ball speed is only 140. Okay, let's have another go. So you can get it somewhere near the middle. Shouldn't really have to, I guess. There's a 17-gram tungsten weight in the back of this club as well, just to give us a little bit higher MOI. It's all about forgiveness. That felt a little bit more like it. Bit higher off the club face, and that's something I will say I'd expect to see the spin dropping a little bit. That green's at 275 away. That's not a million miles away. So 262 is about what I'd be expecting at the minute. Carried 243. Let's see how the numbers look on that. 104 club head speed, ball speed jumped up 14 launch, spin at 2.5 actually, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I take that pretty much out the middle of the club. Horizontal impact and vertical impact was very, very straight. So it appears I can get a bit of distance of hitting out the middle, but let's hit one from somewhere other than the middle. That shouldn't be too hard for me. That was off the bottom, leant back on that one to see what would happen there. Again, pretty forgiving, nice and straight. We'll probably expect to see a bit more spin on this one. Loses a lot of distance. Look at that, between the bottom of the club strike and the top of the club strike. And that's only gone 230 yards, 30-yard drop there. And purposely lifted up on that. Club head speed the same, 104. Backspin 3,800. That's just the difference between catching it towards the top of the club and the bottom of the club. Yeah, very low on the club face, that impact there. So, and nice and straight. I mean, that's one thing I will say out of that strike. Yes, the first one I did overdraw. That one went nice and straight. It looks good. It feels very nice, very solid. You know, one thing I will say though, there are many drivers out on the market that are able to give you forgiveness. And the simple thing is make sure you get fitted correctly, get the right shaft, the right loft. And a club that you like the look of, I would say the Ping G410, just as forgiving. The Maverick, definitely the Sim Max. A great club, but we've got all those available here at St Anne's Oil Links to enable you to try and compare and see which works best for you. Again, looking down at this, do like the look of it. Feels pretty good, feels solid. I'm struggling to get much ball speed off the face, but that just might be me. That was a bit of a pull. I'd take that though on the golf course. That's just in the left rough down here at St Anne's Oil Links. Carry distance at 240, running out around the 259, 260 mark. Potentially not out the middle of the club. Yes, there's a bit of forgiveness there at the same time. Is it a club I'd look at and choose myself? Potentially not. One thing I've found with Cobra products myself, I tend to get a bit too much spin. However, if you're looking for a bit more control and a bit more spin, this could be the product, could be the club for you. How's that one looking again? Club head speed's 104 each time. Backspin 2.5. With my driver, I'm looking around the 2,000 spin mark at the moment. But definitely a nice looking club and certainly worth giving a try. Okay, I did promise I'd give you a little swing tip today, so I'm going to explain a bit about that now. Before I do, huge thank you to Jane, the secretary here at St Anne's Oil Links, for joining me yesterday on a Zoom call where I had a good half-an-hour chat with her, understanding a bit about what's going on behind the scenes here at St Anne's Oil Links whilst we're in lockdown. Jane's working from home, and she has been for the last 6 weeks, yet she's still orchestrating things, keeping on top of jobs, making sure members are happy and communicated with, and there's lots of other things going on as well. So if you want to have a little look at that, head over to my Facebook page. If you're a member of St Anne's Oil Links, you're in the members private group, and that video was posted there yesterday. Also, Greg and the team, Chris, I've had a good chat with those lately. I'm hoping to pop out on Friday morning and potentially do another Facebook Live, so keep your eyes out for that. And we're just learning a little bit about the course, how it's shaping up, and the preparations that are being made ready for the imminent influx of golfers, because when things do lift, it's going to be a golf bomb, I'm sure. So just going back to a little swing tip now. Obviously I've got a nice aid here with me. This is a swing plate just to help me understand the plane of the swing to create a draw. If you're at home, if you want to just put a sleeve of golf balls down or something in this position, and you'll understand what I'm going to explain to you now. So if you generally slice the ball or hit a big pull, as I did on that last drive, then there's every chance that club comes what we call over the top on the downswing, and the hands move away from the body a bit too soon from the top of the backswing. The club comes down here across, and that move goes, the club goes left and the blade might be open or closed. Now, I like to think a little bit about this in this football mentality, if any of you have played any football. And if you were to hit an in-swinging free kick, you'd come up to the ball from this side and kick from there. Notice how I've put this shaft in the ground here. hitting from the inside is the way I'd like to use that terminology, and you'd kick from that position and the foot would wrap around the ball and you get that nice draw. So if you can think a bit about hitting a draw like that, and when you stood there with your golf club, you've got to make sure that that club travels with this shaft line here, underneath this shaft line. This helps me get from the inside. To do that, you've got to make sure you have a big shoulder turn, I appreciate that, but also feeling as though there's something physically there on the downswing. It'll allow you to come back from the inside rather than the natural move, which is to get forward over that line and then you'd cause that out to in pull. Let's give it a try. So first things first, get to the top of the backswing. Yeah, that feels good. I can nice and smooth keep that club underneath the line. If you're out in the garden and you've got a broken shaft or a bit of cane or something, just stick that into the grass about 2 foot away from the ball on a plane, on a line, similar to what I've done now. And just make sure that you don't go damaging yourself whilst you try any of these drills. And then as I hit this shot now, swinging down from the inside, you can see I've overdone that a little bit, managed to push it out to the right. It's going to certainly help me square up the blade. Okay, so just make sure you take time getting the feel of this move correct. Feel as though that club is travelling inside that shaft on the ground, but then most importantly on the downswing, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to come back from that inside position. There you go, and it's allowing me to start that ball to the right and turn the ball back over with a little bit of draw. One more. And this is a really nice simple drill. Remember, feel versus real. You can do this in training, do this in the practice session. However, when you get on the golf course, it's very different again. And to know if you've done it on the golf course, by all means have a little look at the divots on the ground, or even have a little look at the divots if you're digging up your garden. If that divot pattern is now starting more straight rather than across the left, or even a little bit out to the right, that means you've overdone it and you're doing well, you're over practicing it. Let's move the drill out of the way, see if we can still maintain it. There you go. So as you can see, I didn't do it as exaggerated without the training aid there. However, I've started it to the right and given it a little bit of draw back to the target. If you've got any questions about your game and want any help with simple tips like that, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I am using the Coach Now remote coaching app as well. So if you send me your email address, I'll add you to that coaching community, and we've got a free month trial available for golfers on that as well. So that's about it for now for this week. Really happy with how the new studio looks and performs. Those were the first shots I've hit in here. Can't wait to get back in here with golfers, help them improve your golf swings and also find the right equipment. But in the meantime, make sure you stay safe. If you do subscribe already, thank you. If you don't, give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe bell and also the notifications, and we can keep you up to date with what's going on. Make sure you follow me on my social media channels, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. It's Dan Webster Golf. But for now, stay safe, stay at home and keep swinging. Thank you.